Hey people, how's it going? I figured I would record a little video. I was actually gonna do this while watching. I've been watching a show called Narcos. It's definitely not kids friendly at all. I said Narcos. Ozark. Um, Narcos is next on my list, but Ozark, and I was just gonna watch an episode and do this then, but I decided I could do a little bit of a recording. So basically, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a simple. It's not really cooking episode, but it's making fresh like pico salsa kind of. So I was gonna do this just because I wanted salsa, and it's almost just as cheap just to do this because, for example, these limes are 50 cents each. These peppers, it's like $1.29 a pound, and it was only like a quarter of a pound or something. Um, the tomatoes were 99 cents each. Not 99 cents each. Sorry, 99 cents a pound, and it was about 2.5 pounds or so. And then the onion was like 94 cents or something like that too. So you're looking at 250, 350, so $4, 4.50. And if I mean you can get the like the Kroger brand or the store brand for like $4 or so, 3.50, and you can get the better stuff for about $5 on sale. It's cheaper, but like fresh stuff for that little bit of price, it's pretty good. So basically, you want to cut the you obviously want to wash things too, but you want to dice all the tomatoes and stuff. On my great cutting board, of course. Um, it's not the best cutting board because it was weird because okay, my oven, it's actually an old school oven. Um, and it gets, with that being said, well, it gets very hot, I would say. So when I say like very hot, it gets like, I guess hot on the inside. Actually heats up really quickly, but on the outside too. So a lot of times I used to use my cutting board as almost a kind of like a cooling, not a cooling rack, but a drying rack because my kitchen does not have much room. So I'd put stuff on my geez, sorry, it's hard to multitask. I cook stuff on my or dry stuff on my cutting board, and I'd put it on top of the stove, and um, I did that once when the I was using this, not when I was using the stove, but when it was shut off, but like I just got finished cooking, and then I did dishes afterwards, and it melted, and you could see that's why it's not really level, but it curved a little bit. There's a little bit of melt. I caught it real fast, but it's still it's upsetting. It's a nice cutting board. It's a big one. I don't typically use it that much. I actually use it over here the most because I don't have a kitchen table. Uh, so I eat a lot of meals on the desk, and I'll like watch a video or something. Um, but yeah, I typically, unless I have like something big that I need to prep, or um, I'll cut stuff over here while something's in the oven, or because it's all about time management in the kitchen. So a lot of times I will put roasted potatoes. You can cook them really fast in 450, like 25 degrees. But if you lower it by like I said 425, 450, 425 ish. If you lower it to 400, it adds 5-10 minutes. If you lower it all the way down to like 350, it adds basically a whole another half hour, which you would say, well, don't you want it done as soon as possible? And not always. I would say if maybe she's like a plane going over the top. Um, Anyways, after that plane, decided to go by. Not always, because it's all about time management, and if you have, say, things that you have to get done, say like if you're making, like yesterday I made fried pork chops, and um, I also made like, well, sometimes I'll make like homemade vegetables and stuff like that, and then say you'll do the potatoes, throw them in for an hour. You can prep the vegetables, prep the pork chops, start cooking the vegetables. 15 minutes left to go. You can start cooking the pork chops too, and yeah. So try not to cut these too big. It's funny because I'm not a big tomato person, but when it comes to like homemade, when it comes to salsa, I love it. And it's so weird because like if I ate this tomato right now, I'd probably get sick. like, but like salsa and like fresh pico, oh my, that's like to die for. So, probably gonna cut all those seeds out there. Don't need all those. But like I said, this one's a little soft. I'm trying to cut them as small as possible because you kind of almost want to dice it. Which I'll probably skip some of this out. But yeah, I really enjoy cooking and stuff. And obviously, I don't have the best equipment. Like I just bought even more like sauces and like vinegar and soy sauce and stuff like that to season stuff. But like, here, I'll get rid of the seeds. But like, equipment wise, I have 2 knives that I've had practically forever. And I mean, they do fine. They don't do the best when cutting like raw meat, like chicken. Like when I had a butterfly chicken for chicken parm, that was definitely not fun. But also, like I was cutting some bacon that I cooked this morning for I made pasta today. So I should have warmed it up first. It would have made it easier to cut, but it was not fun to cut. It was like ripping, basically tearing through it. But yeah, these knives work. It was like a set that I bought. I want better knives, but again, like I said, I'm only here for 8 months. I did buy some more decorations, but none are here. I bought an actual real pumpkin, and I bought like a candy bowl that this camera's actually on right now. So, geez, I just looked over at the sound, and when that plane went by, the sound it's like through the roof. But I bought mini pumpkin because they're only $1, so why not? I probably won't use it. I mean, it'd be perfect for a pumpkin pie. If I learned how to do that maybe this year. And then I bought a rubber duck that's in the bathroom right now. That's like it looks like it's like a duck that's like coming out of a pumpkin. It's pretty cute. But yeah, I guess I'll show the tip on how I'm cutting these too. I don't know if I'm not the best at prepping, better at the cooking aspect and putting things together. But so how I'm doing this is how you basically cut a lot of like round fruits, vegetables like this. It's called scoring the pepper, or scoring the tomato in this case, and you cut off the ends so you can lay it flat like that. And then yeah, I've been cutting it in half, and then just cutting in slices like this, and then cutting it once more. And that's been working pretty well for me. I don't know if you can see too much because all this pile of stuff. I need to get like a little bowl for my scraps. Alright, so I finished that up. I actually turned off my fan. I didn't realize the bathroom fan was on, so hopefully there's not any of that white noise in there. I'll try to figure out how to get it out of there. But yeah, I got rid of the scraps, cleaned off the board just ever so slightly. And yeah, one of the next ingredients, I have it down here because it just takes up a lot of space, is cilantro, which is almost one of the, give me 1 second. Alright, so one of the best ingredients, or most important ingredients, is cilantro. And actually I didn't say what this was, but this whole bundle was like 79 cents. I was gonna buy some organic stuff, but then I found this, and geesh, like 79 cents for all this, and you definitely don't need all this. And it smells good, and the thing is, it will last. Cilantro doesn't last the longest once it's off the leaf, but picked off the branch or whatever it comes on the. But you can use it in your cooking to add a little bit of. It's like its own. It's like kind of like bitter and not minty, but like it does have that aspect. And this is where I wish I had a better knife. But we're just gonna try to tear it up. But obviously with this, you don't want to scratch it into the cutting board. Oh, geez, it smells so good. And when Pico has that really strong, like earthy smell almost, it's just, as soon as you start cutting this stuff up, it's like, it just smells so great. And the reason why I'm doing this now, we can obviously add more, is because lime is like the last step you want to do. But onion obviously messes with your eyes a little bit and your hands, and then jalapeno, that really messes with your both. So we want to try to do those last, so we don't have to be crying the entire step along the way. So I'm just literally just gonna start tearing this up. Whatever works, honestly. I wish that I had a better knife. Obviously a big serrated knife would be best for that, or big, those are really big ones that you see, they can just chop really fast. I don't know what that motion was, but I don't have that right now, so we're just gonna break it up with our hands, sprinkle on top. Obviously we'll mix it in towards a little bit later. We don't need the stems. The stems are basically useless. There's probably a way to use them in something, but I like to use everything. But with it only being 79 cents, it's the least of my worries right now. I don't have really much to do with it otherwise. And the thing is, you could also, so if you have extra cilantro, you could make dried cilantro. So you know how you have the dried herbs. Obviously look it up. It's normally just like you bake it in the oven real fast. But obviously you have to be very careful because, it can get crisp very fast. And then you have to dry it out. I don't know exactly how to do it. I've looked a little bit into it because I want to actually start growing my own herbs, but I haven't got around to it because I don't really have the best sunlight here. My window kind of faces south, and it's in a courtyard type situation, so it's also kind of blocked by the other side of, there's another apartment complex that's right directly across from mine. So it's blocked by that. So I need like an artificial light. So I think this would be plenty of cilantro. I think we're gonna actually stop right here with it because it's looking. Obviously, we have more here that we can use if need to be. Again, it's not like we spent a fortune on it. Trying to get as much off of my hands as possible. I'll sprinkle these like little stuff. My board, like I said, I try to keep it as not green as possible because that's when you actually press the valuable like flavors into the board. You want to try to avoid that. Geesh. Okay, so I think onion's gonna be next. Because I want to save the jalapeno for last, and I'll probably start with one jalapeno. Again, this is all based on your preference. So how much cilantro you want, how much jalapeno, lime, but you want it to taste good too. So okay, so onion. I don't really cut red onions too often. It's a lot of white onions and yellow onions for cooking. So, but it's similar. Like you want to cut off that end, and then it'll peel pretty easily after that. So like the outer layer, and you'll peel out the outer. I don't know why I'm putting on the cilantro there. Let's put it back here so it's not in the camera's way. And the outside layer will peel off super easy like this. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like they always have the trickiest time like peeling their onion. So here's a tip for you, I guess. It is being a little stubborn right here. That's okay. See, there we go. Look at that. It's already peeled. So, and then after that, I typically will cut it in half and keep the core intact there. Okay. And then this end we won't use most of this, and they'll stay good in the fridge for a while. So you'll want to go like, even if you dice it, it'll stay good. So you want to do this. Basically just slice it pretty thin. Obviously the end piece we'll have to probably cut separately. And then you can basically dice it from here. See, I didn't do the best job, but you get the point. Probably could have been a little bit thinner slices, but again, we're just kind of winging it right here. So let's do this. Again, it's based on your preference, how strong you want it to be. Geesh, I don't know what I'm going to use this red. I don't use red onion. I'll have to see what I can use it in. And the good thing about red onion is it's not hit my eyes a little bit there. It's really hit my eyes. It's not the worst when it comes to potency or whatever. But now I say that, apparently don't smell it, because now that I brought it up to my face, it's game over. I don't know if you can see me blink and all this, but it's definitely not fun. And that's why I said I wanted to wait to cut the onion. So, and you want to try to do smaller pieces. I don't mind the big pieces. Get rid of the center bit. You don't really want that. Oh goodness. Oh boy. So I'm gonna put this onion in here because it is. I took a little break. So the key about getting onion. See, you can't really avoid. I don't know how to avoid the watery. Yeah, but onion is tricky. And the key is obviously do not touch your eye. Geesh. Which should be a given that you shouldn't touch your eye. But also wash your hands like as soon as you can, because as soon as you get off your hands, it's like I'm fine now. And obviously I'm cutting a little bit more, but it was like as soon as I smelled that onion, it just hit my face. But that's fine. Okay, so we're on the pepper. I think I'm gonna do the. See, I don't know if I should do the bigger one or the smaller one. Depends on how spicy. I think I'll do the bigger one. So, typically how I cut peppers, I cut a lot of the smaller peppers because you can buy a bunch of them and they stay good forever. They're a little bit more expensive than buying the big peppers, but like I said, they last forever, and I put them in everything. Pasta. I make a lot of like sausages, and I'll do sausage and onions, and they just go good in everything. So typically you'll go like this, and you try to avoid the seeds as much as possible. I don't have a trash anymore. The seeds are what spicy. Seeds are what makes it even spicier. So, and with this, see, I'm avoiding the seeds. And then I have this whole center bit where it's literally like all seeds. There's a couple seeds in here, but those literally normally what I do is just, and they flick right out. There's 2 left in there, just boom. And peppers, I've watched these things where, you put plastic bags on your hands and then put your knife through the plastic bag so you don't touch it. And it's like, it's fine as long as, you don't have any cuts on your hands. Be smart about it. Don't touch your eyes. Like, it's common sense. You shouldn't need these fancy gloves, But I'm like, you can definitely, I'm breathing it in though, that's for sure. Okay, so look at that. Complete core intact with the seeds, and then this you want to try to do, let me get the seeds off. You want to do this as small as possible because, you don't want a giant chunk of spicy pepper here. So, obviously, as thin as you can go. I normally don't obviously cut peppers this thin because when you're cooking them, they will cook too fast and you won't be able to really get I like getting like a couple chunks of peppers when I eat. Like, I don't like it like where it just dissolves. It does work like when you blend pasta sauce, it takes off the acidity a little bit. That's what I've figured out, because when you make homemade pasta sauce, one of the key things is taking away the acidity, and also not making it too sweet, because sometimes a sweet sauce is good, I guess, but for me, I like more spicy, savory type sauce, so it's a little bit different. And like I will add some sugar. I have found a recipe recently I'm going to use for cabbage rolls that you can actually add what was I going to say? Brown sugar. So I bought some brown sugar for that to make it a little bit sweeter, basically. But overall, you don't want it to be too sweet, and I figured out that what you can add is if you blend up peppers and put it in there, and that will take away the edge of the tomatoes, but adding a little bit more base to it. And then that's the same thing with like flour. Like, you can add a little bit of flour, but when I add flour, it's like I feel like I could taste it. I've made it before with people where they said, "Oh yeah, this is great," and I I'm just sitting there. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I can taste this. This might be a lot of jalapeno. Now I'm looking at it. Before we add the rest here, I brought a spatula for my just from my drawer over there, just to see how's it going. Actually, now that it's blended in a little bit, I think that we can probably add that last little bit of jalapeno. We can probably add more onion too. There's definitely a lot of red and more cilantro, looks like. But yeah, quite a bit more onion actually. I like almost like a when it comes to this, I almost like semi, like obviously tomato, but like quite a bit of onion. I would say like about 50% amount of the same as I'm trying to word this, as tomato. So like not as much, obviously not as much, but like about at least 50% as much. If that makes sense. So I finished cutting this a little bit, and this isn't affecting me at all. Obviously, like I said, if you have a cut, it would affect it a lot. Or like if you touched your eyes, which again, and be careful washing this. Like, don't touch your face, and I have a runny nose, and it doesn't work the best, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this cilantro in too. So there's also seasoning that goes involved. You need lots of salt and lots of pepper. Obviously, you can retouch it up later. A dash or two of garlic salt, or not garlic salt, but garlic powder. I mean, you have the salt right there. And I have fresh ground stuff. Like, I really like ground stuff. You don't want it too salty too. I said a lot of salt, but there's a limit. You can always add more. You can taste it after it sits. And then fresh garlic too. Well, I have like just the pre-minced stuff or whatever. It lasts you forever, and it's pretty cheap, and it saves you all the hassle of having to do it yourself. So I think it's probably a lot cheaper just to buy this than the fresh garlic, because it adds up. Okay, so here comes the lime. So basically just use the lime for the lime juice. It's super easy. I say that and I can barely cut into it. It's not the ripest lime here. And you just squeeze it on in. Right. So that's that half. Let's mix it in and see how it looks. Now that's looking like a pretty pico there. Smells fantastic. Wow. Alright, so we got a chip. Let's try it here. I wonder how stale this chip is. Actually, it's not bad. I think it needs a lot. Maybe more salt, more seasonings and stuff. So one recipe actually called for a little bit of cumin, which I didn't put in the first time. I don't know. Cumin has that. It's what makes taco seasoning, you know. Definitely a lot more salt. So what I ended up doing was adding more of everything. I added more, I squeezed that lime in. I cut up another jalapeno. I cut more onion, and I added more cilantro. So, and it's gonna make it a lot more colorful. Hopefully, taste better. Again, we have to let it set. Yeah, I want to eat this right now. It looks so beautiful, and it actually tastes pretty good. But you're not gonna know exactly how good it's gonna be until it sets, and hopefully, I won't kill myself. Sorry, I was just looking at the recording. I won't kill myself on the spiciness. Plus, I need more chips. So, let's do one more last test. Yeah. Wow, definitely spicier. Jeez. Hopefully it doesn't get too spicy as it's sitting. We will see. Do a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, and then we will do the test in the morning. Alrighty.